What's going on, people? Good morning. Welcome to United View. Welcome to the Morning View. Welcome to the Trophy Collector's View. Welcome to back-to-back Trophy View. Welcome to the channel. What's going on, people? FA Cup winners! Oh my days. Still hasn't sunk in. The shades are good. Listen, I don't care about what anybody wants to say. We've got loads to talk about, yeah, but the shades will be shading. The shades will be shaded. We're going to be throwing shade on a lot of people. But, it's all about us, though, first. It's all about us. We are FA Cup winners. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Get involved in the chat. Let me know how you're feeling. What a feeling. One thing you can't deny about football, you want to bottle up that and keep it forever. The feeling of winning trophies. The feeling of winning stuff. You know? Does it fix everything? Is everything going to be perfect? We're going to get into all of that. There's an inquest, all of that stuff. F all that for now. We are FA Cup winners. Us, Manchester United. 50 Shades of Many, says Dennis. Everyone's got their emojis in the chat. Ten Hag in the shameless hour. Let's go. Absolutely. If you've come here for like this morning for straight up analysis of like the breakdown of the season and what should happen, and you've come to the wrong hour. You've come to the wrong stream. Maybe towards the end of the stream, we'll talk a little bit more seriously. But before that, it's about gassing our players' performance, gassing the fact that we won the FA Cup and Manchester City didn't, gassing the fact that all the rivals didn't expect us to win and we thought it was going to be sacrificial Saturday, like Matisse bombastically, exponentially locked in for. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. Collecting. Abby Summers supporting City all year. So, oh, Spurs this, or we've had better seasons, this, that, and that. Can't collect trophies. Have to just pray on Arsenal's downfall, but can't win anything yourself. What did we do, though? Salvage our own season. Didn't depend on anyone else. We went and fucking won. Yeah? Arsenal. There's a lot going on. Arteta, 4 seasons without a trophy. Ten Hag, 2-2. Let's talk about it. 1 FA Cup behind them now. Like, let's talk about all these things. Newcastle, how are the lads? No Europe. Lower the Dan Ashworth price. Get out of Europe. We're Man United. So it's a shameless hour. I don't care about, oh, Flex, don't say this. Oh, come on, Flex, though. But, you know, that's not for this show. It's not for now. That can come when we talk about serious shit. Right now, bask in our glory. We never die. We went to Wembley for the second time of asking against Manchester City, our rivals, and we beat them. Not fluke, not by luck or hook. No. Eric Ten Hag done a number on Pep. Our 2 19-year-olds, we beat them with kids. We heard all about Klopp's kids. We heard all about, Klopp's fledglings. Look what he did. Yeah, cool. 2 19-year-olds rose. Talk to us, Owen.
Do you remember earlier on this season when Liverpool did their thing and they tried to repurpose the infamous Alan Hansen quote, "You don't win anything with kids"? You went, wait a minute. That's not your quote. That's our quote. And yesterday, we won something with kids. We beat the best team in the land with kids at Wembley. We deserved it. This was no fluke yesterday. This was not last minute tap in, anything like that. No. This was 2-0 up, deserved. They get a goal back from our error, a goalkeeping error as well. And we deserved it. This was Eric Ten Hag, credit to him, out-tacticking Pep Guardiola. Did you see him drinking the water he was? He was sweating on the touchline, hands on his head, going to the referee. 115 charges. They needed another one. They needed another one to beat Manchester United yesterday, and it didn't happen. They couldn't do it. And the rematch is already on. Community Shield, Wembley, just a few months' time. Once again, Manchester City versus Manchester United.
I forgot about that.
That's one apiece at Wembley.
I actually forgot about that. Yeah, it means a Community Shield. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot. Oh, yeah. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. You know what Robbie said to me on DI? He's like, yeah, well, you know what? Hope you kind of lose, actually. So Community Shield, yeah, that'll be us. We can get a day out of Wembley first and then beat them again. You did that this year, mate. You still got nothing. You beat them in the Community Shield.
And watch suddenly, that Community Shield that they said counted as a trophy this season won't count as a trophy next season. Won't count as a Matisse Armani.
Oh.
Nothing Armani anymore.
Armani Exchange, mate. You're not even the proper Armani, mate. Armani Exchange.
Matisse Primark is what he is at the moment now. Yeah.
Oh, I'm taking that. Oh, I'm going to ruin it.
Is what he is. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, tomorrow.
Matisse Woolworths.
Tomorrow. Oh, extinct. BHS. British Home Stores.
Matisse Pound Stretcher. Yeah. That's
what
he is.
Oh, my days.
At the moment. Yeah. He's doing lookups and read-ups of teams and stadiums in Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan for next season. Nothing wrong with it. But that's the trips he's going to be making. And I tell you what, I'm wearing my sunglasses, but I should have my tinfoil hat on this morning as well, Flex, because I've got some conspiracies that I think some conspiracies have happened over the last 72 hours. And and you know what? I think there's weight to it. I think there's actual weight to it. Jacob Steinberg put out that story about Erik ten Hag on Thursday or Friday, whenever it was. I think it was Friday. And who was he a journalist from? He's a Chelsea journalist. Now, what happened to Chelsea yesterday when Manchester United won that FA Cup? They went down into the Conference League. What's that a loss of, Fleck? Money.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It does make a little bit of sense, doesn't it? It does make a little bit of sense. Alan Shearer, you are a disgrace, is what you are. Alan Shearer, with the ambush on BBC after the game, getting all salty, and instead of saying congratulations, talking about any negative he can possibly think of to Erik ten Hag, Gary Lineker, absolutely the same too. I wonder why Alan Shearer did that. I wonder why. Oh yeah, because they're not in Europe next season now, aren't they? Once again, money. Suddenly, that Bruno Guimaraes thing looks a little bit more possible that he's going to go this summer, doesn't it? That whole, we're going to have to sell one player, Alexander Isak, looks a little bit more possible, isn't it? So in Wembley, I think he was one of the saltiest men there. And Gary Lineker was no different. The nerve of him to end the interview by going, we hope to see you next season. Just say well done and piss off, okay? And have a bag of crisps, okay?
He sent you down. He sent you. Shearer sent you down. Move.
Honestly, it was disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. But still, we celebrate. The shades are not coming off this morning because the bags are bagging.
Yeah, you've been up late, isn't it?
The bags are bagging.
Yeah, I didn't go sleep till like 1:30. I was just taking in everything.
And by the way, we didn't just send Chelsea to the Europa Conference League. We sent them to the Europa Conference League playoffs.
Is it?
Playoffs.
Oh, because they didn't finish sixth. What? No, because they finished seventh. Why? Why is it playoffs? They don't just get in it.
No. Playoffs.
Conference League is trending. 126k post. Let me see.
They got that early August start. Or maybe even earlier than that.
Oh, these memes are horrendous. Chelsea fans reading out the teams they'll be playing in the Conference League. The team goes Oh,
G-Man says the questions on BBC were fair considering everything. Let's not get salty over it. We're the FA Cup champions. No, I'm going to be salty over it because I tell you now, if Pep Guardiola had won the FA Cup, there is no way they'd have done an interview going, yeah, but this win's a bit tainted, 115 charges. You taking the piss? Would they have said that? They wouldn't have. It wasn't even brought up yesterday. Yeah. Not even brought up.
Not allowed. Yeah.
I can't talk about it, So I'm going to get salty over it because what it felt like was an interview where instead of focusing on some positives, I mean, it was even like, what did they say? It was like the shit sandwich, wasn't it? Congratulations, Eric. Well done. You must be very happy. Why are you so shit?
Yeah. And then end it on. But well done. You was good out there today.
Yeah, and then
You
it
weren't
was
sincere. It wasn't
it
sincere. I think
wasn't
that was the biggest thing
sincere.
about it.
That
You
was
can
the
tell if
problem.
someone's trying to sort of, talk about the bigger picture and say there's ways of saying it, like, you haven't had a great season, uh, you must be disappointed, but at the same time happy. But like I said, the ITV did it perfectly. That cross
Yeah,
between the two.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It just wasn't
exactly.
sincere. The lack of sincerity from Alan Shearer and the frostiness from Lineker, it didn't feel like they were trying to be endearing. It felt like they were trying their hardest to get a dig at the same time as complimenting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Akash says, let's take a mo to laugh at Newcastle and Chelsea. We literally just did that big up. Oh, we're gonna do it more, 100%. Ryan, yes, the Chelsea fan, and he's been in here quite a few weeks now. Always sending super chats, to be fair. Says, congratulations on winning the FA Cup. Fair play. Fair play. Thank you. Thank you. I know you've had a lot of trips to Wembley recently. Very, very painful. We'll look after Mason Mount. He's had an awful season with injuries. Gone to the FA Cup final with yourselves, Carabao Cup final with yourselves. Been to Wembley, 5 times with Chelsea, is he? Something like that. And not one. And, comes on for like 8 minutes yesterday. Here's your winner's medal, son. Don't worry. We'll look after you, bro. We'll look after you. Don't you worry about that. And you just get fit for next season. V says, if you hate City, hit the like button. Oh, absolutely. And Ryan, Chelsea fan, comes back again, says, don't chat about conference. Got to be the first club to win it all once again. Big up the conference. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Chelsea fans obviously just change the rhetoric, change the narrative to suit them, which when you've been embarrassed to that extent, you have to find some positives. And that is theirs, that they can complete the set. The mighty Chelsea, the biggest club in London. They want to win the. They want to be in European. They want to be in European third tier.
Football's a funny thing because, like, a week ago, Chelsea were like, "Hey, finished the season really good, got Poch in." Week later, the manager's gone and they're in the Conference League. I mean, that's football, isn't it? That's what happens.
Mental, absolutely mental. Avi says, all these ops, keep my club's name out your mouth. Yes, that's the one. Kishan says, the press conference was nothing short of a disgrace. Maybe one question on the FA Cup. Apart from that, got grilled on the season and his future. Yeah, and I have to. We'll talk about that in a sec, actually.
Yeah, got the quotes. Yeah.
Ramanan says, glory, glory, Man United, still high on the win. Eric Ten Hag is out of contract next year. Is it just about Ineos wanting to spend cheap for a manager? And Ryan says, you know what he did with us? Champions League. Yeah, he did. He did win the Champions League with you. Wasn't at Wembley. So, I meant Wembley.
Yeah.
There you go. But there are some quotes because Eric Ten Hag, obviously, we're posting up pictures. We're on social media. We're in group chats laughing. I met hundreds of people yesterday. Took loads of pictures with everyone. It was just such a good vibe, meeting people, hugging people, meeting people for the first time. Big fans of the channel. They were bigging up all of the community. They was bigging up you, Owen, everyone on it. Mina, Marcel, KG, Cam, Charlie, DJ, Micah, Raf, everyone. The guys at United District, literally Steph, everyone, Haley. It was incredible. It really was incredible. And once all that kind of settled, you just have to come down. I was driving home. I spoke to Harry Pinero pretty much the whole way home. They debriefing the game with him. Like it was just mental. And it weren't until I got home. Then I watched the highlights. Yeah, obviously you do. You got to see the goals. And then I realized the Onana thing. I was like, oh, that was an Onana special, but I let him off. Take it all in. Then I thought, it weren't until late last night. I thought, right, let me take in the actual quotes and the interviews. And I tell you what, Eric Ten Hag was very, very bullish, and rightly so. And I hold my hands up. We'll get to that. But he was brilliant in the way he defended himself and how he spoke in the aftermath of winning that cup. And obviously, we've got some quotes now, Owen.
Yeah, absolutely. But he was forced, to defend himself because that's a lot of the line of questioning yesterday. Now he was asked about what your future, what's going to happen, blah blah blah. And Ten Hag said, if they don't want me anymore, I go somewhere else and win trophies. That's what I've done my whole career. And I tell you what, hey, when you've just won the FA Cup, you earn the right to say that, don't you? You absolutely earn the right to say that. He continued on by saying, I really enjoyed this final, especially the way we played. If you play in this level against the best team in the world, I am happy to see that. Now, when a reporter brought up not seeing consistently good performances this season, Ten Hag pushed back and said, you don't understand managing a football team. When the players aren't there, I can't coach or train them. They won't develop. He also continued by saying the FA Cup was absolutely on my bucket list. It is such a huge trophy. It was really a team performance. And again, that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to some of the stuff coming out after the game, all the stuff he said to the BBC, to the ITV, to other outlets, because he did a lot of interviews after the game. And the prevailing theory was that, one, he doesn't really know what's going to happen for him.
He literally doesn't, does he? That was the first time he said, I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know. But he sort of was basically saying, look, I'm sat here with the FA Cup trophy. I think my record sort of speaks for itself. And that's kind of that's the energy to go with. I mean, do you reckon we should do the thing from the Athletic as to what's going to happen in the next week now, and then we can circle it all in together?
Yeah. Let's just do it. Yeah, let's get it on.
So this came from David Ornstein and Laurie Whitwell right after the game too, saying that Manchester United will conduct a season review next week, including the performance of manager Erik ten Hag before deciding on the next steps for the football club. Continued by saying United have already begun contacting other candidates, including Ipswich Town manager Kieran McKenna, as they explore possible replacements for Ten Hag. But I've always insisted no final decision has yet been made on the Dutchman's future. The club's hierarchy, led by co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos sporting director Sir Dave Brailsford, now intend to objectively assess all aspects of what Ten Hag said at Wembley has been a rubbish campaign. He said, finally, United will start looking next week at what areas need to improve to increase performance on the pitch, including Ten Hag's willingness to evolve, and then decide the best course of action. And that last bit there, Flex, I thought was really key when it says the willingness to evolve, because there was an interview I saw with Johnny Evans yesterday. I think it was with BN Sports, I think. And he was talking about how Ten Hag's been obviously really helpful for him.
I think it had the purple mic. It was BBC Radio Manchester.
All right. So he was talking about how he's been really useful and helpful for him. And he said, I hope he stays. But the thing that really made my ears sort of pick up a little bit was he said we've seen over the last month or so his ability to tactically adapt. And he said, I'm sure it's not how he wants to play in an ideal point of view, but he's managed to do it. And you've seen the performances have picked up. And I heard that, and it kind of was a bit of confirmation as to what we've been saying over the last, 4 games, with the Arsenal one, the Newcastle one, the Brighton one, and then the one yesterday, which is there has been a shift. There has been a bit of tactical adaptation. Now, obviously, part of the frustration is that's come when it's come later on in the season, and you go back to stubbornness, don't you? Well, if that had happened maybe earlier on in the season, what would have happened? All this
that's
kind of
the
stuff.
Learning curve. That's where you have to learn.
And again, exactly.
That's the evolution.
What I will say with it, to be honest with you, is again, I said it on Twitter yesterday. I don't see now how Ineos can effectively sack Erik ten Hag. I don't see it. Look, my prediction's been all over the place. I didn't think he was going to be in the dugout at the beginning of next season. Look, that prediction may unfortunately end
everything
up
we
being
said
right.
wrong.
Yeah,
everything we said wrong.
But I don't see now how they can do it. And it's not just the result yesterday. What did we keep saying going into it? It's the manner of it. It was the performance. It was the tactics. As much as people want to say, oh, no, his Pep failed or whatever. No, that was, he did Pep, particularly in the first half. He did Pep. 2-0, he did him. Second half, Pep's answer was bring on Doku, go to 3 at the back. And United managed to manage that pretty effectively. If it wasn't for Onana, spilling it into that. And Onana made some big saves anyway, so I think he redeemed himself. But it was that. It was also the unity of the players. I don't know if you've seen everyone's probably seen all the.
I can actually see the fist pumps from the stands. After every time the ball went, I saw it all. They put it on the big screens, actually.
The unity of the players, the large majority of fans, particularly the fans in the stadium yesterday, but the large majority, I think, of the fans behind him. I think at the very least, he has bought himself more time with a major trophy and critically European football next season. And again, that's not to forget everything that's happened this season, because I don't think he should, and I don't think he can do that. It's not as if he hasn't made significant mistakes this season. He has. He has been stubborn to a point where it's nearly derailed the season, the 3-1-6. He has selected and stuck by players that at times haven't deserved it. He has said some strange stuff in some of his press conferences. And next season, if he stays and we start poorly, he's not totally out the woods. And I don't think he would be there. But I think what Ineos now have to be wary about, and to be honest, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's face was a picture, after the game yesterday, because I think Ineos must now be wary that a decision that was, we saw the reaction Thursday and Friday, the decision was already divisive about whether or not you want to let him go or if he's going to stay. But that decision yesterday became even more unpopular. And I think Ineos will have to be really, really weary now about whether or not they want to, pull the trigger on what would be an even more unpopular decision. So I don't see how they can do it. I'm not saying that they won't, because who knows at this point. But
yeah,
I think he said, I think he's earned more time.
I stood behind about 8 rows back from Sir Jim Ratcliffe, which is where my seats were, and I kind of went up to the railings just to have a little snoop, see what's going on. And he was just in obviously conversation, and I couldn't hear what he was saying, but I just thought I'd love to hear what he's saying, or I'd love to know what he's thinking now, witnessing this, because they have a massive decision to make. Even if they thought before we should change him, which it looked that I mean, I'm not going to reverse that. I said before, I think they've made their decision. I think it's really clear they have.
Yeah.
But you can't not look at what's happened. And Ineos now have to say, what foot do we want to start off on here? Because if we do change him, they could either be strong and stick with their original decision and say, that's how high our standards are. We're still not going to settle for 8th in the league. We think that could be done a lot better. We're happy that this has happened, and we're going to stick with our decision. We're not going to derail. Or they reassess and they go, right, we didn't think that would happen, and the way it happened, and also the feeling of the club, the fans, everyone's actually quite united now. Let's see how it goes. Now, maybe we shouldn't. Let's now leave Eric in post. Let's let him get his players. And voice is gone, man. I just got like gremlins in the front, honestly. I'm trying to keep my throat for ages, so sorry for the croaky. Honestly, you heard John Shin yesterday. If you haven't seen this fan view, check it out.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Nothing left.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't know how they can sack him. And it's weird. And I will say this, it proves, this is why here on this channel, it's our opinion. I never profess to be, listen to me, I'll tell you what's going to happen. You just follow my opinion, and this is things going to go down. I ain't got a clue. I only go off my own emotion as well. We share that with you. I share that with you guys, and you guys push back, and sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. And I said there is no way that he's going to survive. Like, I was like, even if he wins it, I just can't see them. Like, remember I said, like, all this noise that has happened, like, there's no way it just goes away. But like, now we're in this really uncomfortable bit where we're like, that noise should go away. There should be now a statement to say something. But we still don't know. They could get rid of him. And now we've got the uncomfortable feeling of, if we see that news breaking, Ineos decide to sack Ten Hag, there's going to be pushback now.
Well, like I said, it was already divisive, and it's become more unpopular, And I mentioned on Thursday or Friday, whenever it was, and I still believe this, even more so today, Ineos didn't anticipate Man United getting to the FA Cup final. They certainly, like a lot of people, didn't anticipate us winning. I think most of us, we went into yesterday with belief, it's a one-off game, see what happens. But still, we were massive underdogs, and no one expected us to win. And I think, again, for me, it's not because whenever I said that on Twitter last night, and the reaction you get from some people is, it's one game, don't judge it based on one game, don't let it overshadow the season. And it's not. And you can believe me or not, but for me, it's not. Oh, you're just changing your mind based on one game. Again, it's the manner of everything. It's the manner. It's not just the result. It's the performance. It is. If you're doing a review and you're going, do you have the capability or the desire to tactically adapt? Well, he can point to that. Go, there you go. Not even just Saturday. It was last Sunday against Brighton. It was in the week against Newcastle. It was even to an extent against Arsenal. You can go, well, see, I can do that. Now, the pushback would be, well, why didn't you do that earlier on in the season? And then why did you say in an interview that he didn't want to do that? That will go against him. But at the very least, he has given himself the best chance possible. And also as well, again, Ineos is critical. for them. And in a time for years where we have been so divided and so sour on ownership, and we still are because the Glazers are still there, it's critical for them to, I think, to have the fans on their side. And look, we've fans as a fan base have been at each other's throats this season over managerial stuff, over player stuff, and what have you. And like we said, over and over and over and over and over and over again, what's it based on? Ambiguity. It's based on ambiguity and people not knowing what's going to happen and people not sure what the future looks like. And as I said, that decision now seemingly has got more unpopular. And it'd be a very brave thing. I don't know if the brave is maybe the right word. A brave thing. Flex is muted. A very brave thing to really, start off on the wrong foot. And then whoever the manager would be if to replace Erik ten Hag.
That's what I was just saying. The suitors. Yeah. To put Kieran McKenna to go. We've just won the FA Cup in that fashion, outdoing Pep at Wembley. I know it's one game, but to not let Erik ten Hag have a go at fixing and righting his wrongs and say, right, it's going to be Kieran McKenna, nowhere near this level. You are asking for trouble. You are, of course we have to back whatever manager comes and we have to back Ineos. Well, we don't have to agree with it, but we have to look at it and we have to get behind it. Can't boo the new manager and can't do that. But the frustrations would be rife. And come on, he got 3 finals. 3 finals, 1-2 his first season. And avenged the loss that he did have in the final against the same team, the best team in the world. And that's another thing about this thing, right? This ain't Man City clocked off. This ain't Man City off it. This ain't Man City missing a couple of players, so it's the best time to play them. No, everybody knows this is the worst time to play Man City. Well, it's a final. The worst time to play Man City is when it's do or die.
They don't lose in the second half of the season. They don't. And that wasn't a fluke yesterday as well. That's the key thing. Like I said, it's the manner. It's the manner of that result. Like, that wasn't like, you remember when Wigan won the FA Cup and it was like they got a corner last minute, header, it's in, and they're like, they've won the FA Cup and that kind of thing. And you go, I can't believe it. And Man United deserved to win that game. We was deserved. Who was a better team? Second half, City were on top of us, but that's because you're defending a 2-0 lead. And that's because when you play Man City, I mean, the blueprint's been there for a while now. But if you wanted to look at this season, we said, didn't we, going into the game, Real Madrid at the Etihad. It's that. They're going to have all the ball. You're going to have to suffer. You're going to have to be disciplined. You're going to have to keep your shape. And then if you do get an opportunity, if they make a mistake or you've got a counter-attack, then you take it. And we deserved it. We absolutely deserved to win that game. So once again, it's the manner of it. It's the manner of that result. It wasn't a fluke. The tactics were spot on. The player performances were spot on. And you look at the reaction, you look at the unity, and you go, well, there does feel like there is something there. There is something there. And then if you're Ineos, then you want to ask yourself the question, right, I know it's been a terrible season in the league, but if there is something there and you want to talk about potential with Kieran McKenna, do you not look at that thing yesterday and go, well, is there not potential to carry on? And for whoever, and if someone came in to replace Erik ten Hag already, then like the standard has been set by the Man United fans going, well, if you don't win a trophy this season, you should be out, because that's what happened to the manager before, which is tough, which is going to be tough for anyone to follow. Again, it's
benefit of the doubt, man.
It's an almost unenviable position for Ineos to be in, because I just don't see how they can, in good faith, make that decision. And I mean, the risk would be huge, because it has to pay off. Like, it absolutely has to pay off. And who's to say that it will? Like, I don't know.
And the thing is, you don't even know. You don't even, of course, like if Ten Hag stays on, it's not a guarantee that like finally we're not going to finish 8th anymore.
No,
like,
it's not out the woods.
It's not out the woods, and the scrutiny's on, especially, and that's why it's like a mutual pressure. It's like, well, your contract's running out, Erik. You've only got a year left. You've done amazingly well, really. Got 2 cups. Awful season in the second season in the league. Good season in the league for the first season. And you have been saying, don't be an idiot. I have not had my players. I've told you, I'm not surprised with what I saw today. I'm not surprised we've got a bit better in the last couple of weeks, because I've had players back. I've told you this all year. It's a surprise to you. It's not a surprise to me. So, and that's been his tact. And so far, it's panning out that way. So if we get to next season with the fully fit squad, which should happen, and it goes badly, and by October, November, it's the same old shit, then again, at least that way, you've left no stone unturned. And people can say, yeah, but we're 4 months back by then. And there's no fast route. Everything's a gamble. You have to, it's all about, working out what the best gamble to take is. Everything's a gamble. But I think that's the best thing to do, to just have a look at it. I don't think we should leave this going, we'll never know. We'll never know. Like, he deserves the chance to do it. And he has. And what did impress me about all the things he was saying is that it wasn't just, I haven't had my players. At every opportunity, he said this season was a mess.
Crap.
He said it
before the game.
He said it was crap. I think on MUTV, there's a super chat there that says he says on MUTV it was shit. We were shit against Palace. There you go. Omar's super chat says on MUTV, Ten Hag said we was shit against Palace. I'm going to get back to the rest of the super chats in 2 seconds when I finish saying this. And he's not shying away from that. And he says about big changes, that need to happen for us to get where we want. We're still a way off where we want to do. They are the best team in the world. We just beat them. We needed them to be off it a little bit. We had belief. We had a game plan that we thought we could execute. And you need them to be a little bit off it. He did say that too. So he's not like deluded in terms of that. Like, I know he said things in the presser that I've cussed him for. I'm like, why are you saying that? You're losing me here with that. But this is what frustrates me, because then when he does give an actual honest assessment and break it, he can do this, and he can be the Eric that I loved when he came in, and the Eric that I was like, yeah, this is the guy. Like, do you know what I mean? So listen, I'm doing that, flip-flopping up and down, back and forth. I'm an emotional roller coaster. Some people are better at it than me, of going, I'm just gonna pick this lane and I'll stay here. Marcel's better at it than me. He's got, listen, no problem.
I mean,
other people, but that's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
you could be you. Support how you need to support. Have the opinion that you need to have.
Yeah, I mentioned it on the pre-match with yesterday's match feed. He did an interview with the Dutch outlet, I think VL or whatever, and he was talking about again the pundits this season, and he said basically Man United's so big that if you're doing well, you don't really get that much praise. You get a pat on the back. When you're doing badly, the knives are out and they're in. And I mentioned yesterday, and I think this is true. The best way to judge what a pundit really feels about Manchester United isn't when we're doing badly. It's when we're doing well. Last season, when we're doing well, we didn't really get that much praise. Yesterday, when we won a cup, we didn't get that much praise. There's all these other reasons for why it actually happened, Flex. Pep wasn't really trying, or he didn't care, or it was a fluke or whatever. And I liked the tact that he has shown in particularly the last couple of weeks. What we were saying about the press conferences, where he is basically just cussed out every journalist and just gone, you're all shit. Do that. Yeah. Do that again. At the very least, like we said, he's not out of the woods. If he stays and we lose our first 4 games next season, whatever, then he's done. He's not out the woods, because you can't forget, and you shouldn't forget this season. But at the very least, I think he has to have bought himself more time. I don't see how he cannot, because again, the expectation of whoever would replace him would be unbelievably high. And also unrealistically high, I think, as well. I think it would be setting up the next manager, if it was to replace him, to fail. I don't see how, unless you were going to hire Pep Guardiola, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't see how, it'd be an unenviable position to put themselves in. And also from Ten Hag's point of view, he'd be like, well, I did win a couple of trophies here. Like, surely that should count for something. So, yeah, I just don't see how anyone else can do it.
Yeah, no, it's true. Let's get to the super chats, guys. Also, before we do, 2,770 people watching, nearly 3,000 people watching lives, nearly 835 likes. Guys, get to 1,000 likes minimum. Let's just do that. Really, it should be 2,000 likes. I want 2,000 likes. We won the FA Cup.
That would be a record for a morning show.
That would be a record.
2K likes, yeah, that's
what I'm saying, guys. We've never done 2K likes, and it is. Listen, it's way off. It's like 1,200 off right now. But we can do it. We can do it, guys. Like, we just beat Man City at Wembley when nobody thought we would, including a lot of our own fans didn't think we were going to be able to do it yesterday.
I didn't. I will hold my hands up. I mean, I will. I said penalties, but that was the hope and pray prediction. We didn't think we were going to win a game between, I think, after Arsenal for the rest of the season, and we won 2 and won the FA Cup. I'll hold my hands up. Massively wrong.
Yeah, massively. Exactly. Got it wrong. Right, let's get through the super chats. Let me go back to where he was. All these ops keep naming at the press conference.
I think Kenny Fan TV. I think the
Kenny Fan TV
Always
says,
something.
big up Flex and Owen. Ten Hag in all the way. Had some doubts on him, but he delivered. Nem Green said, I said Eric Ten Hag in and win the cup. We need to back him. Pav, been a member for 6 months, says, like I said to Owen last evening, as a Eric Ten Hag out from early, Ineos would be stupid to sack him after the FA Cup win. And that's coming from me. Daniel says, is letting Varan go the right decision? Hold that thought right there. Omar says, on MUTV, Ten Hag said we were shit against Palace. Sunil also says, this win shouldn't make us delusional. Eric Ten Hag can go. Space Odi says, 3 finals, 2 trophies in 2 seasons, meaning the best manager we've had for a long time. Anyone who opposes that, grow up. Apna says, wasn't just a cup win. It's players coming back from injury and with coaches as a collective showing a course correction by defeating City tactically. Yeah, you're right. Lil Yo-Yo, big up to you, my bro, says, City fans blamed alcohol for losing. Losing, eh? Oh, right, yeah, because they've been on the piss because they won the league last week. That's their problem. Space Odai says, whilst Ten Hag is lifting the FA Cup trophy against Man City, McKenna is celebrating 2nd place at the Championship. There's no comparison. There are levels. Joe Fleming says, he now stacks up against any other manager in the league apart from Pep. He's now got more trophies than any of the rest of them. So narrative might move. Tabra says, we've seen it all. We've won the lot. Ten Hag in. Kishan says, the deluded press conferences come when he only has 2nd and 3rd string players to not kill him. When he has players he trusts, we get the true Eric Ten Hag. Ryan says, as long as you replace Rafa with Todibo, I'd do it. And Punjabi says, Marcel and KG, big thank you for always backing Ten Hag.
Come on, folks. Hit the like button now. 3K likes, a must.
Nubian Pharaoh has spoken. Get your pharaohs in the chats. Acknowledge him. 3K likes. I mean, we're not even 3K watching Nubian Pharaoh.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah, but I get your gist. I mean, we have said 2K likes. We're at 1,000, basically 100 now. We've got 900 likes to go. We could easily do that. 2K likes is where we need to be at, guys. Axilla, thank you for the super chat. Says, I like what he said about Mainu when he was asked if he was the real deal. Basically saying he wants to keep expectations low because the English press like to build up players and break them down.
Really good
Brilliant.
Answer.
He said, let's keep it low because you're very quick to do this. And then when they're not doing
and
well,
again, he said he was looking at Alan Shearer when he said that, basically saying, look, you want to celebrate them on the way up, but the moment they, stop playing well or whatever, then you suddenly want to ruin them, basically. And he's right. Yeah. He's right. He is absolutely right in that regard.
Yeah. John says, Flex, are you still Eric Ten Hag out? I'm not. No, I think you should stay on. I have no problem. Looking at it in new context, and people can say you should have thought that before. You this. I don't give a shit what people think in terms of I shouldn't have thought this or I shouldn't have thought that. Like I can see that now from winning that and the way he done it. He deserves more time, unequivocally. Yes, 100%. He does. That doesn't mean it's going to work. It doesn't mean he's going to fix everything. He deserves a chance.
I mean, I think it's with me just to carry on with that because I've seen the same thing going, oh, you wanted Eric Ten Hag out or whatever a few weeks ago. For me, anyway, my sort of status, I was Eric Ten Hag indifferent, I think is the best way to put it, in the sense of, I mean, we were just saying just like it was a couple of weeks ago, I think he might stay because of alternatives, blah, blah, blah. But if they did make a change, I wasn't totally against it. Because again, I didn't see him getting the results. I didn't see him, evolving or changing or whatever. And then, look again, yesterday, the manner of which it happened, and not just yesterday, the last 3 games of the season too, showed a willingness to evolve. And again, I think with that, if you take that into consideration, then he does deserve more time. And also as well, this is the other part of it as well. This narrative of living in absolutes is crazy. In the same way that if he started next season, like I said, and it's a continuation of the league form, once again, he'll be under pressure. Football, he said it himself, I think, after the game yesterday, before in the press conferences, football is a results-based business. It's about winning games and winning trophies. If you lose games, you're going to be under pressure. If you win games, you're going to shut a lot of people up. If you win trophies, you're going to shut a lot of people up. He's won some games recently. He won yesterday and he won a trophy. It shuts a lot of people up. That's how football has always operated. Always
That's
how it's
the currency.
operated.
And you said, it's a results-based business. And if you don't get results, you're in trouble, which is why you finish 8th, you're in trouble. But also, if you win stuff, it counts. Like, oh, who would have thought that? Like, it's the currency of football. Show us your medals. Now, listen, I said there isn't going to be too much of an inquest today because it's about, us basking in the glory, but this is a natural place to get there. But of course, cups can mask things. They can. Because how you play over 38 games is a true measure of where you're at. Hence this argument, obviously, we've had a better season than Arsenal, but where would you rather be at? Knowing that you're going to compete year in, year out because the team's where it needs to be, the manager's got the side of play, all of that, but you haven't been to Wembley for 4 years, you haven't won anything for 4 years, and the clock's ticking. Or would you rather be Man United, who've been laughed at all year, finished 8th, minus goal difference, but managed to go to Wembley to win something? I get that. And that's why we do have to be careful with this. Even when we won the Carabao Cup, after the Carabao Cup, I was like, we're back. We finally got a manager who gets it. Then this season, I'm like, it's miles away from that. Jesus, what was I thinking? Like, do you know what I mean? So we do have to be careful. And you know what? I know it's about basking in the glory. And when it comes to it, of course, I'm going to wind up Arsenal fans for a bit of banter and say, no trophy in 4 years, mate. You didn't get nothing. We've had another better season. I will say that. But when it comes to talking about actual football, I don't want to do the comparisons. I think we need to focus on ourselves. I think actually we need to focus on ourselves and get more consistent and use this as a chance to say, we managed to reconcile something, salvage something from this year, win back-to-back stuff, put it down in the history books. What's that? 13th FA Cup, is it?
One behind Arsenal, I think.
One behind Arsenal. Like, it's in the history books. You can't argue with that. People remember trophies. Well done, guys. And now it's about, right, we've salvaged the season. So technically, actually, in a way, we've kind of had 2 good seasons. But we know we're now looking at the injuries as a thing to say, well, he's got a point. So it's all about next season, about being better and trusting in this manager and getting things right in the summer, as opposed to doing what we usually do, which is go after everyone else. Arsenal, hold that, you just that. And we've got our own problems. We need to sort them and get behind this guy. And Ineos need to make the right decisions. We've got too much going on. Don't get me wrong. When they come for me on the DR thing and just quickly, if I'm talking to Cecil, I'm going to do it. Joel pulled up to Old Trafford Wembley yesterday with his sunglasses on. I said, take them off. I said, I don't care if it's sunny. The sun needs to burn your eyes. You do not get to rock up here today with sunglasses. That's for trophy collectors only. Take your glasses off. Like, I'm going to do that. But
yeah,
when we're sitting down talking about it, like what we need to fix and what we need to do, we're miles off teams that consistently have been good. And that's even when our players have been fit. So we need to sort that out. But there's a basis there.
Well, and also as well, like, this is the thing I remember saying this weeks ago as well. Like, I don't the obsession with comparing things to everything. I still don't understand. Like, this is a unique situation. It's not even comparable to Louis van Gaal when he won the FA Cup, because people are like, well, Louis van Gaal got the sack, so why shouldn't Erik ten Hag get the sack? Louis van Gaal beat Crystal Palace in the FA Cup final. We were expected to win that game because it was against a mid-table side with Alan Pardew as the manager. It's different when you play the best team in the league, arguably the world, and you deserve to win that game. It was extra time against Crystal Palace too. You remember that? Jesse Lingard. Like, I've said it so many times this season, the context in all of these things is so important. And we can't just ignore them. Blind comparisons. Oh, well, look at Arteta. This happened with Arteta, so it's exactly the same. No, it's not. It's not the same. Look at this with Pep. This is what happened with him, so it's the same. No, it's not. Look with Klopp. This is what happened with him. No, it's not. Look what happened with Louis van Gaal. It's the same. No, it's not. It's all different. They're all different. The circumstances are so important. The context is so important. In the same way, like you said, Ten Hag said this in his press conference too before the game, going, does it make up for a bad season? He went, well, no, it doesn't make up for a bad season. We've had a bad season. He was also asked, does it change the sort of context of the season or the outlook of the season? I forget the word, but he was saying, oh, of course it does, because we'd have won a trophy and we're in Europe. We weren't a few days ago. So of course it changes the context of the season. And again, that stuff is really, really, really important. This idea that, well, no, Ineos still need to definitely make the change because in the past, Louis van Gaal, he won it and they made a change and that's what's going to happen. You go, well, yeah, but that game was different. That game was absolutely different.
Completely
you have to be so careful. I understand you can take points from comparisons, but nothing is exactly the same. And with that that is really important, really, really important. Yeah. But just because, it was a cup win, Van Gaal is from the Netherlands, it's exactly the same. So we should definitely go. No, it's not.
I want to shout out Ajax. I don't know if he's still here in the chat, but I saw him there earlier. I forgot to say it then. Big up Ajax. I think he said off the top of my head, my manager, show those deluded guys with your trophies or something along the lines. Big up to Ajax. He's probably sitting there going, guys, I told you this. Keep with this guy. I told you. He's a winner. He will get it done. I told you, etc., etc. So big up to the family of the channel, Ajax, and the guys that we talk Ajax as well, if they're watching Suckby and Papimento and those guys. Where are we at there? Oh yes, Sophia's Football. Sophia's Football Talk is the latest member of UV Members Club. Big up to you, Sophia. Thank you for joining. Mad Boy gifted 5 memberships. 5 memberships. Big up to you, Mad Boy. Thank you for that. Space says, love you guys, but you still get it. You still get it wrong about Ten Hag. It wasn't about evolving. It's about what type of manager Ten Hag is when he has his players fit. Yeah, okay. Yeah, when he has his players fit, what type of all of these questions we need. He should stay so we can find out more. You're right. I agree. I agree, bro. Joe Fleming says, also, if it doesn't work out for him next year, there will be better managerial options out there in a year or 6 months' time if he does need replacing. Will there? We don't know. Don't know, do you?
A year's a long time in football.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness me.
This shows us it. This shows us it. Tina says, just a history lesson. Back in 1990, Sir Alex was close to getting the sack, and Sir Alex went on to win it all. Yes, the famous, that game where he was going to get sacked, and
Mark Robbins.
Mark Robbins, and
I did think it was interesting. I did think it was interesting that obviously Jim Ratcliffe was obviously sat in front of Sir Alex yesterday, and they were celebrating together. And I was wondering what he would say to him, if he would take his advice on board about that, because you would think Sir Alex's advice, you would think, is to back a manager after they just want to win. But at the same time, Sir Alex did give the award to Kieran McKenna the other day too. So I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Mad Boy says you can't leave Erik ten Hag with only 1 year left on his contract. So maybe the problem is agreeing a new deal. Erik ten Hag is in new medical team and facility, facility. Player power out. Ineos are just a front face and covering Glazers. I think you can leave him without a new contract for now. I think that's the right thing to do. They don't need to give him a new contract now. Like you said, get some calm, let him get into next season. And then, yes, by the time it gets to sort of Christmas time, and as the season goes on, that will become a thing. What's going to happen? Are you going to sign a new deal? Have you heard anything? But that's for then. Right now, I think he just needs to stay at the football club. Tabra says, Amrabat, sign him up. After this bit, I want to get into individual players. I really do want to do that. Maxwell Smart says, context of this win cannot be quantified when you consider the backdrop of rumours of the manager getting sacked no matter what. Glory, glory, Man United. And that's very true. We said this, didn't we, Owen? We said, I said it on Sky. I said it in my road trip. And we've been saying it in the lead up to this. We were like, all of this talk about Erik ten Hag and stuff, we haven't taken a moment to go, Man City are just there, ready, composed, everything prepared, know what they're doing. Foden, De Bruyne, Haaland, Silva, all these guys, they're ready. They're just sitting there laughing at this while our players are thinking, who's the manager going to be? Look at the prep going into this. But they really, really did put all of that to the side and just focus on the task in hand to the nth degree, to the nth term. They really, really did. Nearly 3,000 people watching. We've got nearly 1,400 likes. Yeah. So we're about 1,600 off of the 2K likes. We're going to do it, guys. I know we're going to do it. Easy. We're easily going to do it. Where's the flex with the sunglasses emoji? Oh, right. No pack. Yeah, Josh, give me one of them. Give me one with the sunglasses as well. I want one of them. Right. Oh, I want to talk about individual players. Tabra says there about Amrabat signing him up. Let's talk about something, because I haven't had the chance to. Obviously, you was on the full-time view. You and KG would have done your own reactions. I was at Wembley. This is the first time we can sit and talk about like the game, the individuals. Like, where should we start, bro? Where should we start?
I don't know where we should start.
Let's talk about some of the decisions. So Amrabat, it's like there's a decision to be made. Do you exercise the right?
Yeah.
Varan, someone said, are we actually making the wrong decision here? Varan, he's still got. Let's start with those two.
With the Amrabat one, I tell you what, it's tough with the Amrabat one, isn't it? Because the thing is with him is the fact that he's actually cheap. That's the problem. If he was out of the buy options like 30 million, you'd be like, no. But the Amrabat one,
is it 15?
It's not. Again, it's not a lot. That's my thing. Amrabat buy clause.
And you're going to need squad players and players to do a job.
Where does it say? I
might have to go into, or you might have to go to the initial thing of when
the purchase options £21 million. But the thing is with him,
not that cheap.
Do you know what? The thing is with him is that on the ball, when you watch him like yesterday, he's not that great on the ball. He's very awkward.
He can't pass forward.
You know what I mean?
Bro.
Yeah. He's very awkward on the ball and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I think he did a better job. This would be a bit of a bold thing. I think he did a better job of what Casemiro would have done if Casemiro played yesterday, because some of the running that he was doing and getting up to players, sprinting after players, pulling players down, Casemiro doesn't have the legs anymore to do what Amrabat needed to do yesterday. Like it was almost, someone says it in the chat there, it was almost like, it was like for like what Erik ten Hag had Fred do last year in those kind of games, where it's just like, look, we just need you to run around. We know you're not good on the ball. We know you're not good at passing. Just when you get it, pass backwards, pass sideways. That's it.
Keep it and calm it down. When it was a bit frantic in midfield, yes, the very top players will be frantic in midfield, and then that pass goes forward, and there's a counter, you score. Amrabat knows his limitations, and then you're against City. When it was a bit frantic and you had to, like, a couple of duels were being contested, you might win one, lose one, win one, but you end up with the ball, possession back. He'd just pass it back, say, right, start again. Yeah, like, he did that loads.
And he was on, people like, Rodri, he was going at him. People, in particularly when Wan-Bissaka started to sort of struggle a little bit against Doku in the second half and he was getting tired, he was coming out to that side to help him and assist him. He was everywhere. He was on Foden when Foden was drifting around. Like, we needed that just engine, run around, not going to do a ton on the ball, but run around, win tackles, just close people down, and he did just that yesterday. So, you look at players like that. For big games like yesterday, you do need that. And again, it depends almost what happens with, I suppose, to an extent, Erik ten Hag. You would think if ten Hag does indeed go, then probably Amrabat wouldn't stay. But it's much more on the table than it was, just a couple of weeks ago. And once again, it's not just based off yesterday's game. He's played the last 3 games, and the last 3 games, maybe not so much against Brighton, but definitely against Arsenal and Newcastle, he was good. He said good that day.
And he said, I haven't had like 90 minutes in the tank. Look, I'm getting to my best, etc., etc. Like, you give him a run of games, and it's true. I tend to agree. It's like you have to have players in the team. Not the whole team is the starters. Not the whole. You need depth, and Amrabat is an option, and he can do a job. Like, it's not the level of like top draw Man United. Like, when we're set up wrong, he will look exposed. But when we're set up right, he'll do a job. Like, we were compact. He's got small distances to cover, and then he's got tenacity and a willingness and a hunger to work hard if something does open up, and run and work hard and put it in on people. Which I'm just looking back there, obviously, his performance, they won it back there. Wan-Bissaka goes on the gallop, like loads of blocks. And you don't really realize it in the stadium. I'm looking at it now. Clearances, just, look, backing up the play. Yes, a lot of the passes are, backwards or, just, firefighting. But he was good.
When you're the inferior team, which we were yesterday in terms of quality, obviously, you need players. That's why... I mean, I've seen a lot of discussion this year about, we're kind of rose-tinted glasses looking back on Fred. He wasn't that good. But you need that kind of player in those games, whether it was Ander Herrera, whether it was Fred, whether it was Amrabat. You need those players that are amazing, but they run. They keep running, they keep going, they keep going, they keep going. to the end, and that was Qatar Amrabat yesterday.
Yeah,
and whether he stays or goes, if he does go, we do need someone else. We don't have another player like that in the squad at the moment, so we'd have to find whoever that person is, because you need that in these days, because we're not going to become Man City next season. No, we're not. We're still going to need players like that in those games. So the ideal scenario with Amrabat would be that he goes on loan again for another season and we get an actual proper look at him, wouldn't it? Because it's, again, the sample size is so small with it.
Yeah.
You know, because he played more games at left back.
Yeah, exactly. No, that would be good. Actually, another loan would be great, actually, really, if we could be quite astute. Another loan would be great. Nubin Ferrer said, Nubin Ferrer has gifted 20 memberships, by the way. I mean, I tell you what, you got to do the thing. You got to.
Oh, I was muted. I did press it. There you go. I can't do the voice. I don't know, unless I just say.
That's fine. No, because it's not an actual thing. It's more. Yeah. It's fine. It's not super chat. Ryan says, also take into account with Amrabat low wages too. And Amar says, what I don't understand is why Erik ten Hag played the same way from the first game to the Arsenal game, despite the injuries. When you lose your best defensive pairing, why not shore up the defensive midfield? That's been our criticism, 100%. I agree. I 1,000,000% agree. But he has also shown in these last few weeks that he can,
Well, that's what you want to talk about. You know, Ajax, and we talk Ajax guys being a prophet or whatever. That's pretty much exactly what they said. They said he is stubborn to the frustrating degree, and he'll only change it when sometimes it might be too late or it's right at the end or something, which is something to consider when you're doing these reviews. You need to consider that. Going, have you learned from that? Are you always going to be the same? Because now also with Ten Hag, you will say, like, you've seen now that if things, you know, if you are struggling, whatever, you've seen this, like, you can't, we're not in the position to adopt this is the philosophy at all different points mentality, because that won't work in the Premier League anyway. It just won't. The teams are too good. Even the worst teams are too good for that, to happen. You can't do it. So you would hope that he has learnt from that. I certainly would hope so. Anyway.
Yeah.
Lights up, folks.
We're less than 500 likes away, by the way, from 2K likes. So there you go. It's possible.
Let's get to it. Exactly. The Pharaoh said it. There's not long left to stream. Do get that. Come on, guys. Get us to 2K likes. 2K likes. We can do it. The Ghost of Rafe the Phantom, Owen. Owen, I was nearly in tears. He was phenomenal. He proved why he's our best defender. He proved why, even since he's been here, of course, the injuries have been, the lack of availability. But what a performance. Got his head on everything. Interceptions. He was good on the ball. He read all the danger. He just did Raphael Varan things. And the question is, I said it obviously afterwards, gas starts. I was like, give him a new contract. Don't care. Lower the money, but give him a new contract. Don't let him leave. Look, over 38 games, he can't stay fit.
Yeah, I think that's what you still can't ignore.
And then we'll be back to what will happen is we're literally just talking. Romano quoted it like, "What's happening?" Everyone's saying, "Go to Romano." We'll check that.
Oh, that was I think it's the Martinez quote, isn't it? From
because Pep said he was the best. What did he say? He's the best
top
in the world.
Top five centre backs in the world.
But Pep says loads of things, mate. He fucking lost against fucking Stoke and says, honestly, they're unbelievable. They're the best team ever. Like you can't.
More happy than your love,
says it. Yeah, exactly. He's just Pep in it. But we'll get to Martinez in a sec. But Varan, what will happen is we're talking about the manager doesn't have his players. What will happen next year is we'll start with Varan and then we'll be in Europa League or something will happen, and then he won't get it. He'll get injured, and then we're back without our starting centre back. So it is right for him to leave now, because this is me saying that with this real sentiment of he's good enough to play in any one game, always, still now. But to rely on him to build something that is consistent, we just can't do it. If it was really low cost where he could be, I know this sounds really rude, but like third or fourth choice centre back, so he can come in and, you know what I mean? Like, if we could afford it, where he could just be there and play when he can play, he's not going to do us any damage because he's good. But we're trying to build the consistency. We're trying to,
We're not in that position, are we? We're not in that position
We don't
where
have that
we can
luxury.
afford to just hand picking for certain games. I agree. I still think it's probably the right call. The finances as well makes it the right call. The consistency makes it the right call. But look, when you see him play yesterday, that's why you would hope maybe he doesn't go to like a Saudi or whatever, because he's at the top level. He can still play. It's just a case of not all the time. You know what I mean? And I remember the stat earlier on the season was saying like he doesn't lose like headed duels in the game. Like
No.
he doesn't. He
No.
doesn't. He wins all the
Hardly
headers.
ever.
So him, Martinez, as we mentioned. Look, people saying that I still think this is a concern on my part, is that how different we look when Lisandro Martinez doesn't play is still very alarming for me, because he's clearly he's that important for us. But his forward passes and
that's not just about to say that. There's a couple passes between the lines. I went, this is it. When you're missing that it's just completely
what
different.
and also.
How he roughed up Haaland as well.
Yeah, and also I thought, me and KG said during the match, like a couple of times Onana was on the board, he passed it to Martinez, and I thought like we were saying like, I bet he's thinking, I haven't seen you in ages, mate.
Yeah.
We used to do this all the time. We used to do this all the time at Ajax. Look at this, I can actually pass to someone who can keep the ball instead of it being Harry Maguire or Johnny Evans or whatever.
And we actually forget that because it's like he hasn't been for time. So
he was excellent, and again, it's not the first time he's done a job on Haaland too, because when he was at Ajax, remember they played Dortmund and Haaland didn't get a sniff. And he is so clever, because first minute, ball comes in, Martinez, little nudge in the back, it was never going to be a penalty, but he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. And he ruffled him up. And to be fair, I mentioned Johnny Evans there, won the FA Cup with Manchester United. He's now won every major trophy with Manchester United. And huge credit to him, by the way, because I remember we saw him on pre-season last year. We went, this guy is done. He can't run anymore. And he's played games this season against Man City, against Arsenal, against Liverpool, against any big team you can think of. He has played. And again, he deserves a ton of credit, I think.
He does. I saw his wife yesterday, where we was in the back, where we were sitting. I said, right, Helen. I said, I hope you stayed in Manchester. Get Johnny signed up. Just stay here. And she was laughing. She was like, I don't know. She's laughing. But it's one of them, and it's like, you just give him a new deal to keep him about the place. But it's always Johnny Evans as well. He's
to do what he was meant to do this season, which is not play that much. 4 or 5 games. He's ended up playing all of these games.
Yeah, exactly. Wan-Bissaka, look, he was excellent yesterday. He was back to his best in terms of the defensive sort of responsibilities, the 2 different types of challenges he had. Gvardiol's a different type of discussion to obviously Doku, and how City were playing was in the first half. You had the likes of what was his name? It was Foden was on. Who was out there? Foden, isn't it? Was mainly out there, but wasn't actually playing there. It was Gvardiol who would go high and basically be like a left winger. He ain't going to run past you, Wan-Bissaka, but you have to stay switched on, because he's going to bounce it off somebody else. Foden's going to come into there. De Bruyne started coming into that area, sort of thing. So it was a different type of challenge. And what I watched him do, his positioning was really good first half, knowing when to let Garnacho come back and help or push Garnacho on, and he can take Gvardiol and staying switched on. Second half, we did a really good job of helping Wan-Bissaka between Amrabat and Garnacho getting back to help. But also, how many times did Wan-Bissaka get those blocks in for those corners?
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought he did.
Him around the outside.
I thought he did well. Good. Yeah, I thought he did. Well, particularly in the second half. Because again, this is a guy. I mean, Dalot and Wan-Bissaka, they've played every game for however long, because they're the only fullbacks that are available. And you could tell in the second half he was getting a little leggy towards the end of it. And he was, and it was a battle. Like, literally, Pep brought on Doku to be like, go at Wan-Bissaka, and Wan-Bissaka took on the challenge. Was like, all right then. Yeah. And to be fair, at one point Doku switched sides. Doku switched sides because he wasn't getting any love out of it. So no, I think he deserves a lot of credit. Same as Diogo Dalot. I mean, he's been player of the season. He just really kept up what he's done this season yesterday. He's solid as well. Obviously, we spoke about Amrabat, Kobbie Mainoo, just sensation really.
I want to talk about Rashford.
Yeah, that's what I was going to. Yeah, that's what I was going to work up to. Marcus Rashford. I think he also deserves to credit. Look, I going into the final, I said I didn't think he deserves to start, and it was funny actually. Sort of the team news that was sort of being leaked out around sort of Thursday, Friday was suggesting that he wasn't going to start, and so it was a surprise to see him when he was included, and I thought he did really, really well. I mean, for the second goal in particular, obviously, look, that pass with his right foot over to Garnacho is brilliant, absolutely fantastic. I thought he did a lot of the dirty stuff in the first half as well, you know, in terms of chasing, pressing. And again, you saw the emotion after the game. There's very clearly, you don't want to speculate too much, but there's very clearly other stuff at play here when it comes to Marcus Rashford. And we've said that earlier, you know, this season with some of the things that have happened regarding him. And you saw it sort of come out of him yesterday. And he just like everyone, if you deliver, if you perform, then you deserve the plaudits. And Marcus Rashford is no different yesterday. He performed, he put the shift in, he was involved in the second goal, a fantastic pass, and he deserves credit for that. Absolutely.
Yeah. He deserves massive credit, and he played his part in basically being that outball and being that threat. So Kyle Walker's a cheat code. Not many people get past him. There was a couple of instances where against any other player in world football, Marcus Rashford would have been through on goal. But Kyle Walker's he ages backwards even. He's ridiculous what he's been doing, and how quick he is. So you can't criticize Marcus Rashford for like being clean through against Kyle Walker, but Kyle Walker got back. I've seen Vinicius Juniors do that, mate. Like you can't.
I think that's why
like,
Rashford played. I think that's why he went with
he
him
has
as
to play
well. Because he went to speed. It's just got to try a speed race, you know.
You have to try a speed race, and he's the only one who can stand up to him physically in any shape or way to keep him honest, at least. You know, against Garnacho, of course, you know, it was going to get outdone in a foot race. It's Kyle Walker, right? So there's no point talking about that. But Rashford continually was a part of the outball like what Garnacho was. And the game would have looked completely different if he didn't play. That's the difference. Like, not saying every single thing he did was struck gold, but he was massively important to the game plan. Both wingers were. And even at times where it was time to keep the ball and just set the ball back and keep it, he wasn't running down blind alleys going, right, I'm going to turn and try and run at everyone. No, he did his job and he worked hard. You know, when things like, you know, when he won a slide tackle by the byline, everyone cheered like it was a goal. Little things like that because we saw the effort. And you know what? He's come under a lot of criticism. I said he shouldn't start. But one thing we do need to do as fans is, like you said, that emotion that he showed at the end of the game is showing. We've said it, like some of the things he's done that out of character showed he's at breaking point. And that was just pure human emotion. I've seen some people on the internet sort of saying it's PR and all that. Like, you just give your head a fucking wobble. Give your head a wobble. Get your head out of this internet bullshit and give your head a wobble. If you think that Marcus Rashford was just crying on purpose to show that he cares, you don't know anything about football, mate. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, you can see out of all the criticism he's had, and he's deserved it, that bit was like I just can't believe we've won this. It's just, you can see it. It's a human thing. It's a human thing. So yeah, it was kind of, so I saw it afterwards. Not sad to see. Well, it was sad to see, but also it's like, wow, it's like, come on, you can just see the guy like it was just coming out of him. Like it really was. You could just see all of the pressure and the stress. Like, he's an FA Cup winner of his boyhood club, regardless of what's happened. Like you said, there's stuff going on where he's been way off it. And he needs to sit down with his camp. Not being in the Euros is going to be could be the best thing to ever happen to him. Let's see it. But to look at that and say he's a PR merchant just for crying, just pathetic.
And also, look, it doesn't change what's been a really poor season for him. It doesn't make up the fact that he's not in the Euro squad, and he shouldn't be in the Euro squad. You know, that all of that stuff is still true. But you do see what, and again with the incidents recently with him, someone that at the moment seems pretty fragile, and he played well yesterday. The emotion was pouring out of him, and you know he deserves to win, and also deserves not to. I mean, if we're into territory, we're not allowed to show emotion anymore. We're really struggling, aren't we? So there was him, Bruno. My goodness me, what a captain's performance! I mean, the assist for the Kobe Mainu goal, I thought was just.
I've just got it on repeat here.
Like he does, he checks. If you watch it back, he checks like three times. He sees that Kobe's there, sees that Kobe there, and look, it's still Bruno Fernandes. He gets a rush of blood. Second half, when we're trying to hold out the game and he tries to lob the keeper,
I know. I was like, he has to find a way, doesn't he? He has to find a way.
But you know, that was, you know, he was proper yesterday. He was really, really good. And that is a captain's performance. And that is, look, I think someone said it in the chat right there. Roy Keane said he was wrong about Bruno. You know, because that's in it, and that's Roy Keane. Because again, that's Roy Keane's currency. You mentioned about football; it's a results and trophies based business. If you start winning shit, because that's what Roy Keane's like. Well, what have you won? What have you won? Now he can say to Bruno Fernandes, "Go, well, he won an FA Cup as the captain." Go, you know what? Fair enough. Well, he won a Carabao Cup last season where he wasn't a club captain, but he was effectively captain at that point. You go, fair enough, and he deserved that yesterday. Kobbie Mainoo. My God, I mean, I don't know if you saw Paul Scholes' praise of him on, I think it was Instagram. He says, basically, stop comparing me to Kobbie Mainoo. He's way better than I was at 19. He's saying that, look, he's far superior to me.
Yeah.
I mean, his finish, his composure, and also you see with someone like an Amrabat next to him, doing again a bit of the running because that is the sort of negative of his game. Maybe he's not super mobile. You got help. You got help.
Yeah.
His feet and his composure and his finish, it's outrageous. It really is. And you can see, by the way, like that story about City every single year since he's been a kid, they've been trying to poach him. You see why? Their talent ideas.
Oh, he would have been around. In there. With them type of player.
You see why their talent ideas best around. We are so fortunate and lucky to have him because he is just, oh my goodness me, he is outrageous.
Yeah. He was the absolute joke. The finish was ridiculous. And like I said, the way he takes the ball, wants to play, absolutely a joke. And you know what? It's true. We get told that Kevin De Bruyne is the best ever midfielder we've ever seen. Pep hooked him in their biggest game of the season, 2-0 down, mate. Like, when did he come off? Like 60 minutes? Something like that?
Yeah, like 65, something like that, yeah.
I don't want to hear it, mate. Like, Haaland, he hit the bar. Other than that, didn't see him. Didn't see him once, mate. Do you know what I mean? Rodri, the Busquets, can't get the ball off him, nicked it off him a couple of times. Like, all of the things with Foden as player of the year. Listen, Foden's amazing, fantastic. Going to be supporting these guys in the Euros, by the way. But
he barely got kicked
he played one pass to Alvarez where he would have got an assist, to be fair. Other than that, nothing, mate. Didn't see him because, again, wasn't just because they had an off day. No, we made them have an off day. We were on these guys.
Yeah.
We did. We were on them, and every ball they looked like. At some points, they looked like schoolboys. One ball over the top, we were just in. It looked like playing them again on FIFA, on the AFC when they just go mad. You just one ball over the top against City, you're in. Like that's how you beat them even. On
and
FIFA.
Also, because I think we've named every player apart from this person, Garnacho yesterday. Look, this is a guy who we've been saying recently. He's been running to the ground. Absolutely exhausted, running to the ground. Gets the goal yesterday. And I know you can say, well, it's a tap-in, but look, he puts the pressure on the keeper. And Gavardio and Ortega in the first half in particular looks so shaky. And they were right to keep putting pressure on him. He would have got an assist for the Rashford goal that was ruled out to be offside. And look, he did his job too. Like, again, it cannot be stressed how wild it is. Man United won that final against the best team in the world, I think, anyway. And the two goal scorers were teenagers from Manchester United's academy. Like that again, that is what a story that is for Manchester United and Nick Cox and all those people that run the academy. Because the two goal scorers are people from Carrington. I know Garnacho, came over from Atletico Madrid, but still went through the academy. These are two guys that 2 years ago they won the FA Youth Cup with Manchester United. A couple of years later, they're winning the FA Cup.
They've won in the senior, and the women have won at Wembley this year, 4-0 against Spurs. We've cleaned up there. Like we're making it a habit going to Wembley, guys. We're making it a habit, and you can't look away from that. We've got 1,736 likes, guys. We can get to 2K, even if we just sit here in silence for like a minute before we wrap up. Like, do it, guys. Like it, like the video, really do. Like, get us to 2K likes. We've won the FA Cup. If you're just joining in, smash a like. Let's get us to 2K. We're at 1,743 now. It's going up. We're nearly there, guys. We are nearly there.
What we can say, by the way, a bit of programming. So there is going to be a full view today. It's not in its usual time slot of 6 p.m. It's at 1 p.m. instead. There'll be a 1 p.m. full view. Maybe a bit of a tease, a bit of a hint as to what's come. One KG the comedian is going to be there. And I can reveal some exclusive details, Flex, that there is going to be some kind of, shall we say, KG celebration?
Absolutely.
KG celebrational moment is going to be in that. So, yes, 1 p.m., you will want to be there because I know him. And he went through the mill yesterday. Again, I know Flex is in the highlights of the match for you. A lot of you guys probably watching. KG, before the game, he had to go to nervous toilet for 10 minutes. before the game. It got to half time and he had to start pacing around his living room or whatever. We scored the first goal. He broke his equipment. He went silent for like 5 minutes because he ripped some wires out. He then started talking. At the end of the game, he started talking like this the whole time. Hey, Matisse, that kind of stuff. He was on another. Oh, and also as well, that was the other one. After I think the second goal, he was like, "I got a show tomorrow, so make sure you got to tell me to stop shouting because I'm gonna lose my voice. I'm gonna lose my voice." And then he started panicking. He started panicking because psychosomatically he started to lose his voice, and he started going. Every 5 seconds I heard him go.
It's all in his brain. It's all processing of what's about to happen.
He was going, and then at one point the referee made a decision. KG was like, "Fuck you, referee," and then his wife came and was like, "Kevin," and he's like, "I'm sorry."
He's losing it.
Absolutely
losing it.
It was
and honestly,
best views ever.
He's just I see, and that literally perfectly encapsulates the emotion that was going through our veins. Like I think he represents all of us in the KG way, but he represents all of us in those situations. I mean, I went with my friend and he's a Man United fan. My friend and we were just so when that Doku goal went in, we went, please God. And during the second half, we were like, you know, when you just start making things that you say, you go like, right, the next first 10 minutes of the second half, can't concede. Yeah, can't concede. Gets to 55 minutes, going, next 10 minutes, you need to get to 65, 70 minutes, you can't concede. We get 70 minutes, you go, I'll tell you what, a goal now for them, can't concede, can't concede. All the way up to the 88th minute, when we do concede, and you're like, is this enough to hold on? Because they will come at us with everything now. They will. And you know what was really good about that? Is the fact that they didn't really have one more massive chance after that. What you would have expected City to do is to keep coming, whereby, it's save after save, corner after corner, it's cleared off the line, they've hit the post again, oh my God. But actually, we did compose ourselves, get back into our shape again, and we had a few counters where we could keep the ball, win a foul. Rasmus Højlund, when he came on, when he wins that duel against Alvarez, I think it is.
Yeah, he got a foul, didn't he?
Powerful. That foul felt like a goal.
I think it was Ake. I think it was Ake. I think maybe that fouled him. Maybe when there was one when it went. There's one when it went up to I think it was into their half, and he started wrestling, and they pulled him down, and it was a foul. It was just perfectly at the right time.
But then the other one was on the run when he got the turn, and then he passed it to Amrabat, and then Amrabat went to pass it through, and he effed it up, and then the ref pulled it back for the yellow. I thought that was Alvarez.
It might have been a couple. There might have been a couple. Like again, I remember it. But that was ironically, that was the time to start wrestling, wasn't it? That's the time to start wrestling. You know what I mean? That kind of like.
And he's fit enough to do it. He's strong enough. Because in the lead up, he done his interview saying, I've been on the bench the last couple of games. Obviously, I always want to, start and stuff. But he also caveated that saying, it's been nice. It's been nice to come on with fresh legs. He said that, and it's true. You could see like it wasn't that it was the right time to wrestle. Weirdly, against like a Kanji and stuff like that. And he's going to miss out a few headers, but when he could get his head down and be a nuisance and a pest, like he said, he won us a couple fouls and got us up the pitch, and it really, really worked. It really, really did, and we didn't crumble. And it would have been very easy to put all that work in, 2-0 up, an Onana special, which gives them a goal, which. We're not talking about that because he was so good in all the other aspects.
Well,
and we won the cup.
Big saves.
But it was an Onana special that, like, when I watched it, I thought, oh my God, Jesus, that was a proper. Oh, I should never go in. But we would have found ourselves with them being back in the game at maybe at 2-2. Because say like someone did do something special after the Onana mistake with them, and you find it at 2-2, you're down in the dumps. You got to play another 30 minutes. You're like, I wouldn't have fancied us then. That would have been really difficult. But the fact that we locked in and didn't make it go that far was fantastic.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Sorry, that like I was waiting. Like you said, the story of our season has been we've been ahead, and then we concede one, and then we concede the other one straight away.
Exactly.
And the fact that we didn't do that, and again, to be fair to Onana, he made a couple of 2 saves from Kyle Walker from long shots, which were brilliant, and also critically right towards the end, it was a corner came in, big claim. big claim takes the sting out of it. Like that, you need like that kind of stuff as a
De Gea
goalkeeper.
wouldn't do that.
You
De Gea
need
wouldn't
that.
do that.
And he did
moment.
one before that where he did a punch where he like should have caught that one.
But
afterwards took the claim. And again, and I know it's easy to say once you've won the game and you don't really care about the goal conceded because that was a massive goalkeeping error. But I did think in every other aspect he did make up for it because he made some big saves yesterday.
He did. PS says, Flex, will you be in Frankfurt for the Denmark game? I'm a local and would love to meet you. Also, please make sure to clean up the house tomorrow on DR. Oh, don't you worry about that, my friend. Don't you worry about that. With the Euros, we'll see. I'm not sure. We'll see what's happening there. Hopefully. DR tomorrow, mate. I tell you what, guys, we're 850 likes, 1,850, but we did to get to 1,000. Come on, guys, you know the deal. Another 150 there. Come on, guys, you can do it. 150 likes in the bag as we exit the stream. Get us 2K likes.
150 likes. Yes, I was screaming. Yes,
not you doing a KG.
You can. I know.
You can do it.
Yeah, yes. You can do it, guys. We're not turning off the stream until we get there. Like we're literally waiting for that. That is the key right there. Come on, we can do it, guys. Yo says it there. 150 likes to 2K likes, people. We set that as a benchmark. We can do it. We will do it. We're about to do it because the community will come together and make sure it happens. 2K likes. Gonna be in the bag.
SLD says change DR Sports to Conference League Awareness Day. You should get a big map and go, and these are all the places that you're going to be possibly going to next season. Get one of those big pointers, you know.
Owen, I've got it. Right, don't just because it's going to be out there. We're going to talk after this.
Yeah,
because I've been thinking I need to ring Jason today as well. We've got about you? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We're at basically 1900 now. Come on, guys. Keep it up.
That's a good question, actually, as well. Lil Yo-Yo says, excuse me, he's not even Lil Yo anyore. He's just Yo-Yo. He's grown up.
Oh, yeah.
He's not. Yeah. Does that mean the Europa League song's back next season for us? I guess it does. a newer updated version of the Europa League song is going to be on its way back. If we get, do you know what, Flex? If we get to that 2K likes, less than 100 to go, we'll finish on the Europa League song. I'll load it in.
Oh my god, yes, because we thought it was gone forever.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, it's true. We're gonna have to do it. Load it in, Owen, because they're gonna get us the 2K likes. They are. Oh my god, yeah. The outro is literally going to be. It's not going to be an end card. It's going to. Well, actually, no. We'll do
both
outro. Yeah, we both. Guys, Europa League. We've got to go to town. Yeah, because they thought, especially the way we got the Europa League, got to be shameless. And really, it's laughing. We've got to laugh at Chelsea and laugh at Newcastle. That's what we'll do.
Yeah,
that's what we've got to do. Oh my days, that's so. While watching Matisse's stream yesterday as well, I saw the highlights. You see you, Matisse. You see you. Oh, you wait. Didn't even answer my phone call yesterday because he knows. He knows. He can't. Oh my God, he's going to get cooked tomorrow. All of that just for Man United to win the FA Cup against City, where he's like, no chance that can't happen. The team he's been backing all year to make sure that they beat Arsenal and win the league. Then he needed them to show up for him so that he could keep his Europa League spot. Man United win. He gets Conference League. He gets Conference League.
And you know what? As well, I just saw him just doing responses to people. You know when he doesn't actually tweet and he just gets he's just responding to people.
Yeah,
it was terrific.
It's brilliant. It is brilliant, mate. We're basically just under 60 away, guys. Come on, let's do it. Come on. Get us to 2K likes. End of the stream. Come on, 2,000 likes and the Europa League theme tune to finish off. Let's do it, people. Mike Drop says quadruple next season. Loving it. Shameless says Motto Green. SLD says he knows. I know he knows. J. Cole Settings. He knows. SLD says skip over Kobe Manu. V says we're in the Europa League. Where's Chelsea? Not there. Where's Newcastle? Not there. 2K likes almost. We're nearly there, guys. Come on, push. Do it quicker, guys. Come on, do it. Let's go. Like the stream. Come on. I woke up and it was not a dream. Reload it, says Triller. We're gonna do this, says Keith Thomas. We already done it. Nikhil says, hit those likes, community. Hit those likes, people, says Aminor. How many more, says Yo-Yo?
It is what? That's 25.
30.
20,
Got 30 now.
30 with 35. Yeah, 30 to go.
Now.
And I have loaded in the Europa League theme song. I think I have anyway. We'll see
right
what happens.
Got it right there. Exactly. Guys, we're going to start wrapping up because we're pretty much going to do this. Owen's got his trigger finger there. He's ready to press play on the Europa League theme tune to take us out of what's been a turbulent season as we leave it as FA Cup winners. Big up for everybody watching. Big up for everybody getting involved. Big up for all the super chats. Big up to everything. Remember, we're going to be back at 1 p.m. For the full view as well. Don't miss out on that. We had to do a longer show this morning. This was only supposed to be an hour, but again, the numbers kept going up. We had the 3K watching live. You guys getting involved. 2,000 likes, 20 memberships, super chats from Nubian Pharaoh, £200. You know, it's been insane, and we are 8 away from 2,000. You done it. It's done.
There you go. It's done. And this is the competition we'll be playing in next season. We're out of it.
We're out of it.
Last words?
Just peace. See you tomorrow. see you at 1 p.m. Peace.
1 p.m.
Rewind. Shameless. You know, I did in the Europa League. Europa League. Me tell them one time, and we say Europa League.